Hey there, it's Trisha, and I wanted to go over a couple things from last week, a couple trades that we took using the new setups. And everyone who has gotten the ebook in the past should have received an email with the link to download the new version with the additional setups in it. And so I'll go over a couple trades that we actually took in the room using those setups. And there still are a few seats available in the upcoming webinar on the 22nd, which is Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And so if you want to get more information on that or the setups, you can go to www.easyemintrade.com, and we will be going over the setups in the webinar. So this is a trade that we took on Thursday, and you can see by looking at our price action to the left that we're in a range. You can see it more clearly on a larger tick frame or time frame chart, but we're in a range. So we actually trade outside the channel, and in the ebook there is a setup for continuation move. This would not be considered a continuation move because we're not in a trend. We're not going anywhere. It's just, basically trading to resistance and down to support. So when the price trades back inside the channel, you can take an aggressive entry or you can take a conservative entry. We opted for the aggressive entry, which was just to take a short when our indicator crosses below 80. So that was the entry that we took, expecting just to get down here to the support area, which is what we did, and then we bounced again. The conservative entry would have been entering in under this bar here, but with that said, you don't have enough room really to make it worth your while below you, so that would not have been something that you would have taken. But this is a trade that we took, and it was about 11:17 on Thursday morning. And this is a trade that we took on Thursday afternoon at about 2:52, and this would be a continuation move. We actually got above the high of the previous day, which we were waiting on, really, because there's really a lot of room above us when you look at the daily chart. So we got closed outside the channel, which was here. And it's perfect because we are closed above the resistance area that we've been waiting for all day, to get above the high from the previous day. So with that said, close outside the channel. Our indicator is above 20 and rising. Our green is above the red here. So everything is good to take that trade. So we got in the trade and basically waited forever till it finally moved. And we exited 2/3 of our position at our first target and then moved our final third to our entry, because it took forever to move. But regardless, that was a continuation setup, and you'll see that in the ebook under the continuation setup. So anyway, it did work. This was at almost 4 o'clock, so not anything that obviously you're going to do with that. So that's not something that you would obviously take because of the time of day. And I wanted to go over this trade from Friday afternoon. I didn't trade on Friday afternoon, but I wanted to point it out. I traded on Friday morning and took a couple trades that worked out just fine. But in the ebook, I did make an additional change to the trend line break that we typically take, and this is exactly what I was talking about. So we put the additional indicator on our longer tick chart that we take our trend lines off of, and here we get a trend line break in the morning, and it's valid. We've got our 3 touches, but our indicator here is not in line to take a long. Our red is above the green, and ideally, when looking back at all the trend line breaks that I ever took, the ones that worked, this was in line, and the ones that didn't work, this was not in line. So I found that really interesting. So here's a perfect example. To take a long, we would want the green to be above the red, and it's not in line. So you would enter in above this bar here. You would never got filled here anyway, but regardless, you can see it never would have worked out anyway. You never got filled, but I just find that really interesting. This is a trend line break in the afternoon, and yeah, it's a really huge bar, but you close above your moving averages. This is in line, this is in line, and you've got room above you to 1086.50, basically where the 50% retracement is. So I just wanted to point that out because obviously you can see that it would have worked for a couple points and this is in line. So I just find that really interesting, and I hope that helps. And we'll definitely go over more of those in the coming days, and we would definitely be working on those on Thursday night's webinar. So anyway, if you wanted to get a little more information on the webinar or the setups, just go to www.easyemintrade.com. And if for some reason you have the ebook and you never received the email with the link to download the revision, then please send me an email and I'll get that out to you right away.